with the introduction. And it's so good to be here. It's good to meet everyone as well. So I'm just going to go right into the class, not to take too much of our time. I'll be sharing my screen right away. So please, you can let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, you can just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen while I move on. Okay, thank you, Faith. Thank you, Yetunde. Thank you, everyone. Okay. All right, so today, Alfred has really done, an amazing job at introducing HR metrics and analytics, what it is about and how important it is for HR today. I'm going to be doing some more work with that in terms of talking more about why HR analytics, why is it so important for a human resource professional to have this skill. We're also going to be looking into the fundamentals of HR metrics and analytics, objectives of HR metrics and analytics. I also have a little case study that we're going to look into together. This is going to be as interactive as possible. And finally, I'll be talking about the significance of HR metrics and analytics in modern organizations. Okay. Usually, I like to start most of my sessions with this popular image of the elephant and 6 blind people. This image of the elephant and 6 blind people. Please, if you've seen this image before, you can just let me know. If you've seen this image before, you can let me know in the chat box, or you can just give me a thumbs up if you've seen this image before. So I know if I'm the only one who thinks this is okay. Okay, so this is an image of, okay, thank you. So this is an image of an elephant and 6 blind people, right? So the blind people, male, female, were told to touch different parts of the elephant and describe what they were touching, all right? So here we see someone by my far left who is touching the tusk of the elephant, and he's saying, oh, I think this is a spear. Okay, there's somebody else touching I think the legs, and he's saying, oh, I think this is a snake. Someone is touching the ears, and he's saying, I think this is a fan. So everybody is touching different parts of the elephant, and they all have different descriptions of the elephant. How does this relate to HR? Traditional HR really previously was run by just basically the HR professionals' instincts and bias, could be from observation, could be from intuition, could be from what they think. So once there's a problem, the HR professional will just look at one side of the situation, then based on their instinct or intuition, they will just make a decision, that could affect the entire organization. But where we are going to with HR today, HR professionals have become more strategic in the execution of their work. HR today has become very proactive instead of reactive, and that is really where HR metrics and analytics comes in. As a human resource professional today, you cannot be making talent management decisions or workforce optimization decisions just based off of what you think, what you observe, what your intuition tells you. You have to work with facts, you have to work with data. If there's anything you're going to take out of today's training, is the importance of data in making decisions. It is so important. So our work as human resource professionals have moved from being reactive, like I mentioned, to being proactive. It has moved from just administrative to now being very strategic in execution. So I want us to take that out of today's session. So I'm sure at one point or the other, we have all, okay, I was going to ask, when you hear metrics, what comes to mind, but then I have it on the screen already. When you hear metrics, you hear measurement, standards of measurement. Metrics really are just quantifiable measures that you use to assess and evaluate performance, progress, and success. So metrics are specific quantifiable measures, things that can be measured. While Alfred was playing the video earlier, he mentioned that once you come in for the training, there are lots of resources for you. We have, lots of templates and resources where a lot of HR metrics, will give you a lot of HR metrics with the formulas for them, so that it's easy for you to just plug and play while you're working. right? So HR metrics are specific quantifiable measures. So the first thing you have to understand about metrics is they are quantifiable. They are specific quantifiable measures. And the reason why it is so important to quantify them, like I mentioned earlier, is so that you are not just making decisions from sentiment or from observation or intuition. You are making decisions of facts, of data. Okay, so that's what metrics are, right? So we can never talk about HR analytics without talking about HR metrics, and that's why I chose to define HR metrics first, because we can never talk about analytics without metrics. There'll be nothing to analyze if there are no metrics. So that's why anytime we talk about analytics, we must always mention metrics. So what are the examples of HR metrics? While Alfred was speaking again, he mentioned a number of metrics. The truth is, any area in the HR value chain can be measured, just depending on the problem the organization is trying to solve. Depending on the problem, at hand, depending on the problem you are trying to solve, you can always measure the data you have at hand, right? So we have talent acquisition metrics, we have employee engagement metrics, we have performance management metrics, we have DEI metrics, we have L&D metrics. Any area in the HR value chain can be measured, like I said earlier, depending on the problem you are trying to solve. So an example of a talent acquisition metric is cost per hire, time to hire. Example of employee engagement metrics include turnover intention, turnover rate, absenteeism, employee satisfaction surveys. Those are examples of employee engagement metrics. So like I said, any area of the HR value chain can be measured, and there are formulas for them. All of those will also be shared with you, if you register and continue with us on the training. So once you have your metrics in place, we can move on to talking about analytics. I always like to say that people analytics is not just about HR. So whenever you hear people analytics, HR analytics, workforce analytics, we are saying the same thing. Okay, people analytics, HR analytics, workforce analytics is the same thing. And HR analytics, people analytics is not just about HR. It's about the business, okay? As much as there are resources that you use in carrying out the business, but it has been said again and again that people are one of the greatest assets in any business. So this is so important because it's not just another HR task or another HR activity. It is about the business, and many times, it can determine how far the business or the organization can go. So HR analytics is a field that leverages data, like I mentioned earlier, and statistical methods to gain insights into human capital and drive evidence-based decision-making. What I'm just saying in simple terms is HR analytics really is that process by which you analyze your metrics in order to make better decisions. That's what I'm saying in simple terms here. So that's about HR analytics. And while I was making my research for this masterclass, I came across this very important information, which I thought was outstanding. Google calculated that it saved approximately $400 million by reducing new hires' onboarding time from 9 months to 6 months. Now, the truth is, Google would never have known that there was a relationship between the onboarding time and talent retention if there was no data. And even if there was data, if that data was not analyzed, they would not have been able to get that information and then to make their processes better. So Google realized that when they reduced the onboarding time from 9 months to 6 months, this was actually for their sales team. From 9 months to 6 months, they realized, over a period of time, they were able to save $400 million. I also saw a lot of testimonials from other companies like IBM, P&G, HP, and Facebook on how they have all utilized data analytics in HR to improve their processes. So this is not something small. This is something big. And another thing that we've heard about people analytics or HR analytics is the fact that maybe it's just big companies that can afford to get into analytics. That is absolutely not true. HR analytics can be carried out by small, medium, and big organizations. Okay, so yeah, so this is one important information about HR analytics. So the way I mentioned some examples of HR metrics, here are some examples of HR analytics as well. Identifying trends in employee turnover, understanding what factors contribute to employee satisfaction. Just like I said, depending on the problem in the organization and what you're trying to solve, you should just draft out, what your people analytics process is going to look like. When you get into the class, one of the things we're going to tell you first is, before you start any people analytics process, you must define your objective. Okay, you must define the problem you are trying to solve. If not, you realize that you have so much data on your hands and you don't even know where you're going. Even when you analyze the data, you don't even know how to create the relationships because the objective was not clearly defined at the start of the project. So it is so important that at the beginning of any people analytics project, you clearly define the problem that you are trying to solve. That will help you know what data you are working with, and know how to create your relationships, and also help you with reporting, which is so important. Reporting is something we're going to place a lot of emphasis on as you go on, in the training, how to report, how to ensure that everyone in the audience, the stakeholders you are speaking to, how to ensure that they all understand what you are reporting, and then they can be a part of the solution you are providing as well. So yeah, in simple terms, metrics are the numbers that you collect to measure your HR performance, while analytics is the process of analyzing your metrics, like I said earlier, to find insights that can help you improve your HR performance. So for example, you might collect the metric employee turnover rate. There's a formula for that. You might get that metric employee turnover rate to measure how many employees leave your company each year. And then you can use that data to, create any relationships that you want to create. Okay. Now, I have this case study here. Please, at this point, let me confirm if you can all hear me and if we are following and if we've grasped everything I've been able to share so far with us. I'd like to see. Okay, thank you, Olawale. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It felt like I saw a hand that went up just now, but I don't know if I can still see that here. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, great. Okay. Okay. Can't see the person anymore. Okay. So I have a case study here, which I want us to work on together, actually. I want us to work on this together. So I'm not only going to be speaking on this case study, I want to hear from us as well. So this is a case study on Thomson Corporation, right? It's a company with a diverse workforce, and they recognize the importance of employee engagement in driving productivity. So the first thing that they were trying to do first was to understand the factors that influence employee engagement. And the reason why they want to understand these factors is so that they can know what to improve on or what to stop doing. Okay, exactly. So they want to identify areas of improvement, and then they want to be able to develop targeted strategies to enhance their employee engagement levels. So like I said earlier, before you embark on any HR analytics project, ensure that your objective is clearly defined and stated. This is so important. Your objective must be clearly defined and stated. So this is what Thomson Corporation is trying to do. They're trying to find out the factors that influence their employee engagement. They want to identify areas of improvement, and they want to be able to develop targeted strategies to enhance employee engagement levels. Amazing. So the first thing to do, after defining the objective, is to collect your data. And this is where metrics comes in, like I mentioned earlier. You have to collect data. And for something like employee engagement, one of the very good ways to collect data is employee surveys. But I feel like there is so much dispute when it comes to surveys. Some people feel like surveys are sometimes not transparent enough. Some people feel like surveys may not exactly capture the information that HR needs to do whatever it is that they want to do. But I want to hear from two people in class today. What do you think? Have you ever used surveys, and do you think were they useful in achieving what you were trying to achieve when you used them? I'd like to hear from at least two people. Have you ever used surveys, and if you think they helped you in achieving what you were trying to achieve? I have used surveys, but I want to hear from you, like two people. Okay, thank you so much, Tijani. Thank you. Please, you can have the floor. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I have used surveys before and it has been useful, very useful in trying to get feedback from the people I have worked for in terms of client survey, client satisfaction survey, and also to try to get I was working outside an organization, so I was trying to prepare a session for them. So I sent in a survey to understand their pain points, and I was able to use the survey to help my own decision making around what type of content I would develop for that training I was going to go for. So it has been useful.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing that. So you've had a good experience with surveys. Thank you. Any other? I need one more person to tell us about the experience with surveys, if they were useful, if they helped you in achieving what you were trying to do. I have used surveys, and if I'm being honest, in the organization I was working with at the time, we had to make the surveys anonymous so that people could be comfortable enough to share, how they actually felt and, what they really wanted us to do as an organization at the time. So just giving them surveys at that time and telling them to include, their names and all of that may not have given us what we're looking for. So we decided to make it anonymous. That is my experience with surveys. But I'd like to hear from one more person, your experience with surveys, and if it was useful. Okay, we have two people, okay? Okay, I think I saw Cynthia and I saw Chibundu. So we can have Cynthia first and then Chibundu. Thank you.
To ask a question.
Hello? Yeah?
Can you hear me, please?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I was going to ask a question.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, I was going to ask if truly the surveys are anonymous.
Yes, they can be truly anonymous. If you use Google Forms and then ask the forms not to collect their email addresses.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Chibundu, please. Thank you.
All right. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. So I'd like to share a very recent experience. My spouse shared with me his data recently that he took via poll. And I appreciate the fact that you mentioned objective of what to look out for. So from my reports over what he shared with me, it was the objective for that Excel dashboard was to provide a clear visual summary of PhD students' feedback on course, program, instructor experience, and it was in a way to help stakeholders make informed decisions. In fact, I never knew that we could take it in that light. So, and the breakdown it gave me was that objective area was to evaluate course quality, to assess instructor performance, to track engagement levels, to identify improvement areas, gauge recommendations, support curriculum decision, and spot patterns or concerns. So I sort of was excited having gone through this channel, and I want to say that surveys are good. And with having this experience, it was for him to have me try my hands on my Excel, my data analysis experience that I just started off. So I'll say, yeah, polls are very good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So yeah, surveys, polls, they are good ways to get information about employees, try to understand how they feel generally in the company. Yeah, I think another thing that would also help is you also have to, observe the situation that you have on ground. One thing I've understood about HR over the years is there is no one size fits all, right? When it comes to people, there is no formula. You really have to observe what you have and then work with the data that you have as well. So Thomson Corporation decided to, they conducted employee surveys to get data on various aspects of employee engagement. These areas included work-life balance, career development, job satisfaction. Okay, so when they collected all of that data was analyzed using statistical techniques. Of course, we cannot go into the depth of that in this master class, but that is something you are definitely going to know how to use as we move on in the training. Also, they collected performance metrics, okay, using surveys as well, and we're able to, working with line managers, line managers basically, we're able to get data such as employee productivity, turnover rate, absenteeism. Like I mentioned earlier, all of these metrics can be calculated. They can be calculated. So they now have employee engagement metrics, and then they now have performance metrics, all right? And they analyze this using statistical methods. Now, here are the insights that we're getting from that analysis. One of the first things that they realized was that their leadership effectiveness had a significant impact on employee engagement. So, for example, they saw that managers who provided clear direction, managers who provided regular feedback, there was more engagement on such teams. That was one thing they were able to discover from the analysis. Another thing that was discovered from the analysis was the importance of effective communication channels. They noticed that employees who had access and transparent communication channels, they exhibited higher engagement levels, which makes sense, right? Finally, another thing that they got from the analysis was that employees who received adequate career development opportunities within the organization had higher engagement levels. So now they were able to divide the insight into these three key areas: leadership impact, communication channel, and career development. Okay, they were able to divide the insights into those three: leadership impact, communication channels, and career development. So I'm asking this question from this analysis, right? From this insight that we have gotten, what actions would you take as the HR analyst at Thomson Corporation? So say you have all of this information that, oh, there's a link between, transparent leadership, there's a link between, transparent communication, there's a link between managers who provide regular feedback, there's a link between teams who receive career development opportunities within their team, there's a link between all of that and engagement levels, either high or low. What actions would you take as the HR analyst at Thomson Corporation? So I'd like to hear from three people, actually. I'd like to hear from three people before I share what I would do. But I'd like to hear from you. If you have this insight from an analysis that you've carried out, what actions would you take as the HR analyst? Alfred, do you want to give us answers?
No. So we have some people that are on the call from Kenya that I would like you to also call. I don't know their names, but if you check out their names, you will see that their names is not Nigeria. Their names doesn't look Nigeria.
Okay. So help me God that I'm able to identify them. Let's see. So I need three people to help me with this. So like Alfred says, I'm just going to call three people. So here I can see, please pardon me, I may not pronounce this the correct way, but I can see Jidai here. So Jidai, I would like to hear from you. I can see Jonah. Jonah, I'd like to hear from you. And finally, okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear from Jonah and please, Jonah, if you can hear me, the floor is yours. And Jidai, there's one more. Jonah and Jidai, I'd like to hear from you. We would like to hear from you. And Jerry. Please, if you can hear me, you can have the floor. Okay, please, can we all hear me? I want to be sure that we can all hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am a Nigerian. I'm not from Kenya.
Okay.
But it's fine. It's
Sorry.
okay.
What state are you from? Sorry.
I'm from Borno State.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
to meet you.
same here. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Yeah.
Okay. But then you can still share your, your contributions with us, if that's okay.
Okay, so I actually honestly didn't get the whole narration before the question because I was attending to a staff here with
Okay.
me. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. No problem. That's fine. I think you'll be able to get it as we move on then. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Should I? Okay. So Alfred, I don't know if
Jerry
you're
is Kenyan.
here.
Jerry
No,
is
you can-
Kenyan. I think she
you
can.
can-
Yeah, Jerry, yeah. Yeah,
you
call
can
me
call,
Jerry.
you can call anyone then. You can call anyone then. I don't think
Okay.
they can speak or they're not available. You have to call anyone.
Yeah. Okay. So anyone can have the floor. I don't want to. Anyone can have the floor. I just need 3 people. Just 3. We are almost 40. We are 40 here actually. So I just need 3 people to share their contributions with me. Okay. Okay, let me just call 3 people then. If you can hear me, you can let me know. And if there's any challenge with speaking, you can let me know as well. Faith Ofutet. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrongly. Faith Ofutet, you can let me know if you can hear me. I would like to hear your contributions. Eunice Olajide, I'd like to hear your contributions as well. And okay, there's a Niyi Aramide. I also like to hear your contributions. Please let me know if you can hear me or if you have any challenge with speaking. Please, we need contributions before we can move. We actually need contributions and we need them fast. So 3 contributions, please. Okay, Faith is on the call. Okay, thank you, Faith. Thank you. Please, I need contributions from 3 people. That's fine, Faith. Thank you.
So I did not get the last part of the explanation very clearly.
Okay.
The last part where you said
Okay.
something around leadership, the insights, leadership
Okay.
impact, communication channels, and career development.
Okay.
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 Are you saying after all this was our input, right? After all
Yeah, so
this
these
has been
were
done, I would have said,
yeah. No, like these were
I would have said, oh, the HR
inform-
has done everything already. The analyst has done everything already, and these were the insights. So probably you are saying after these insights, then what should the HR analyst still do?
Yeah. So what are your recommended solutions?
Okay.
Because when you are reporting, right, they are not only
you want to put
reporting the problem.
recommendations.
You're reporting with a solution.
Okay. I'll just pick each insight and just explain what the HR analyst can recommend.
Yeah.
The first one would be around leadership
Let me make
impact,
it bigger.
right? So the first one is around leadership impact. Obviously, it means that the people, the managers would actually need to be trained. They need to be carried along they need to be put in like a leadership they need to be put in a leadership training, right? A development program for leadership, right? To ensure that they know how to, managers could be very good operationally, but they might not be good with, behavior. They might not be good with managing people. They might not be good with communicating their requirements. They might not be good with, feedback systems. They might not be good with, explaining what an organization requires from their downlines. So it's very important that they go through probably training, a program to ensure that all leaders are able to. And that program, there has to be like tracking. There has to be clear competencies that will be tracked by the HR analyst on how each manager or how each leader is doing during the training, before the training, and post the training, so we can have a proper, return on investments from the training. Right. The next one is around communication channels. The HR analyst can recommend, right, according to what is it, employees who had its access to transparent communication channels. It means that probably the HR in the organization has to see it through, that has to monitor that communication goes from the top to the bottom and from the bottom up. So there has to be like intentional, will I say, intentional, HR has to be intentional from when the CEO makes out the communication. If it goes to the manager, the HR still needs to go and meet that manager to ensure that it goes down to the downlines. And when it goes to the downlines, there still needs to be like the confirmation that the communication has actually gone down the downlines. And also, there's a need for us to look at a flow chart of how communication moves in the organization and look for bottlenecks to ensure that the communication flows freely. And in the area of career development, right, they said the data indicate that employees who receive adequate career development opportunities within the organization at higher engagement levels. So it means that there is need to start to collect proper information on the people that have, the potentials, or people that show that they can move up to the other levels, people that show that they are willing to move up to different levels in the organization. So if there is like career development, there has to be like structures and frameworks of how people can actually move. And this thing is not just about just saying there's career development. There needs to be real career pattern structures that would have to be drawn up for the employees. So, and this needs to be communicated to the employees so they know, because from this insight here, they said employees who received adequate career development. Some employees don't even know what career development really meant to them. So it's very important for us to communicate that this is the career path and this is the development that needs to be. Probably the organization can have a minimum amount for each employee on, okay, if we even do an exam, this is the minimum amount we have for you for this particular financial year. So these are little things that the HR analysts can recommend. And through these things, the HR analysts need to now like look for HR metrics that you can use to measure these things while it is going, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to report the outcomes of these interventions that you're putting in. So my not so little 2 cents.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tijan. You have done an amazing job, honestly. You've done a really good job. I like the part that you mentioned, the fact that some employees may not even know what career development is about, and that's why they themselves have never brought it up. But with this kind of insights, then HR can now take deliberate steps in ensuring that employees, know what career development opportunities are available to them, and then help them draft a structure for that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Cynthia, I saw your hand up, but it was very fast. I don't know if you want to add something to what Tijani has said before we move on.
Oh no, Mr. Tijani has done a great job at it. So
yeah, he has actually. Thank you so much. Okay. Dami Joshua, let me hear from you. Sorry.
Yeah, but just a quick addition to what he said. For leadership impact, it could also make us very intentional in recruiting for senior roles. So such that you're not just bringing in people who have technical expertise and are very able to managing people. So that's just my addition.
Yeah. That's a very good perspective. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay, Chidai, let's have you.
Okay, so finally, I get to understand what was going on based on what the speaker had brought in. So I'll just add to what he has said. So, for leadership impacts, when you recognize leaders that have, you encourage leaders to recognize and celebrate employees, what they have done, their achievements regularly, to now foster trust, and it increase employee engagement, and employees will now feel they own the tax and they own the company. So that will also help them So for communication channels, I think you'd have to audit the communication tools they have available to them. You know, some companies don't have, some companies just have only WhatsApp. They just use WhatsApp. Some companies use Teams, and they make it mandatory for you to make calls during using Teams, or you could also text messages, you know, using Teams too as well. So yes, that's that for communication. Then for career development, I think we have to do a skill gap analysis to know the skills that they have here for a particular role, right? And also know the skills that the staff have currently. Then you see that gap, and you now develop strategies on how to see that the staff actually meet up. They have the right tools, the right skill set for each task. So I think that's what I'll do based on the analyst reports to me. And of course, definitely in developing the structure, they will have to be KPIs and metrics so that we can track progress that have been made so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think I really like the part of communication, you know, actually evaluating the communication channels that are in place and seeing, you know, how they can be improved, or if there's a need to add more channels or to even introduce a completely new channel. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Olanrewaju.
Okay, good afternoon. Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I just want to portray about what we have been contributing. Honestly, it's a good idea, but I just want to say one or two things about the communication channel. Okay, what I want us to understand is that when we are talking about communication channel, is a very broad topic. Yeah, let me put it like there's a very broad topic that is whereby all the employee in an organization it is very important that we understand that. And then HR analytically help every employee to make their message to help them to pass the information across very effectively and efficiently, and then in order for them to know how to construct their message. And we know if you want to send a message now, like let me cite this example, like using of capital letter, is like maybe you are shouting on employee, and then HR analytical will help in that aspect. And then in order for us to communicate our message directly, just to be short and to pass effective communication, so that we have, at the end of everything, the person that we are passing the information to will be able to understand and assimilate, so that it can give a positive feedback, that is, he understand the message that we are trying to pass. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Olanrewaju, for that. Thank you. So I think your emphasis is around, you know, the way communication is handled in terms of, you know, being very empathetic, a lot of emotional intelligence at play as well. I was really smiling when you mentioned, you know, sending messages with with capital letters, and how distressing sometimes it can be for some employees. Well, yeah, thank you so much for adding that. Thank you. Okay, so based on, you know, whatever everyone has shared, like really you know, wonderful ideas, but this is what Thomson Corporation did. They conducted leadership training programs to help their managers with the skills they need to effectively engage and motivate their teams. For communication, one of the things that they did was to implement a feedback mechanism through digital platforms to encourage open and transparent communication. And regarding career pathing and development, what they did was to revamp their performance management system to include individual development plans and career mapping discussions. I think, to be honest, everything that we have, we have all touched on already. So thank you so much, everyone, for your contributions with that. So yeah, basically, so that gives us an idea into, you know, metrics analytics and how it affects the different areas of the business, okay, the different areas of the company. It affects talent optimization. I think someone mentioned it affects the kind of people that you hire eventually, workforce planning, talent management, talent development, employee engagement, learning and development. You know, it just goes on and on and on. So you're not just coming up with solutions and ideas without facts, without data, right? You're not just coming up with solutions and ideas without data. So what's the significance of HR analytics in modern organizations today? Number one, like we have established, it helps with data-driven decision making. So even when you move on to the executives in the company, the CEOs, the members of board, you can go with facts, with data, and let them know that, okay, this is what you want to implement or introduce, and this is why you are looking to implement and introduce that, right? HR analytics helps with enhanced HR practices, like we've mentioned, helps with improved workforce outcomes, helps with strategic alignment, and finally, with predictive capabilities and insights. You can predict in terms of workforce, you can predict in terms of employee engagement, performance management. The list goes on and on when it comes to the benefits and significance of HR analytics. So I hope that with everything that we have shared in this masterclass, you have a very good idea of HR metrics analysis and how it really and truly affects the business, and how upskilling yourself with this data is not only going to help you as a professional, but it's also going to help the business or the company that you work with. So thank you so much, everyone. It's been most wonderful speaking with everyone. Thank you for your contributions. Alfred, over to you.
Thank you very much for today's section, Princess. It has been a great and insightful section. So we need to take questions. I know a lot of people on the call. We have one or two questions for Princess right now. Please, can you use the raise hand icon if you have any questions for Princess? Okay, so while we're waiting for people to ask their questions, so I sent a message to the in-call message section, the chat section on this call right now. I have sent a message there regards to our training. And the first message, thank you for attending the HR Analytics Masterclass. I hope you enjoyed today's section and found it insightful. For those willing and ready to join our class, there is a link there for you to join the class group on WhatsApp. For those interested in learning more about the training, you can still join the class group and learn more about the training from the class group, or you can click on that to learn more about the training and access today's recording section. If you need access to the recording section, you have to also click that link to have access to the recording of today's section and fill. There's a touch form there that you have to fill. I would have your email address and I can send the recording to you. So I would like us to appreciate Princess. Can we appreciate Princess with our signs, our stickers, our reaction? Let us appreciate Princess, please. I'm waiting. Faith, I can see. Let's appreciate Princess, please. Let's appreciate Princess. Yes, we're waiting, please. Let's appreciate Princess. Okay. So since we don't have any question, we're going to wrap up soon. But before we wrap up, I want to share my screen again. I believe we can see my screen. Please, can you see my screen? Can you confirm if you can see my screen? Okay. I can see it from my end here. Yeah, so I believe you can see my screen. So I would like to play this testimonial. I would like you to hear from our students and what our students have to say about the training. So I'm going to play it right now. Ayobami joined our training and he gave his testimonial.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ayobami Shulamila. I'm currently taking an HR analytics course with EvolveHQ, and I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made since discovering the ads on LinkedIn a few months ago. The facilitators are highly knowledgeable and experienced in their respective fields, making the learning process conducive, interactive, accessible for all students. Due to the fact that you have recordings after sections, since I began the course, I've been able to apply the learned in the workplace and also gain a deep understanding of HR analytics and various human resource metrics. I've also expanded my knowledge in regards to Excel. I'm talking about dashboarding, Power Pivots, Power Query, the likes, also index amount, lookup functions, and different aspects of different formulas in Microsoft Excel. Power Query, Power BI also, dashboarding and SQL. EvolveHQ has truly been an asset in my training. providing valuable resources and interactive learning environment and constant support, all of which have played a crucial role in my development as a human resource analyst. I can call myself a human resource analyst right now. So if you're considering a career in human resource analytics or want to upskill yourself in the HR space, I would highly recommend EvolveHQ analytics training.
That was, please, can you please resend the link to the training platform? Okay, I'm going to resend it right now. A few minutes, please. Yes, so for those that are considering joining the training, I'm going to resend it right now. So you can go to our website, evolvehq.co, to learn more about the training. Yes, you can go to evolvehq.co to learn more about our training. Yes, I'm currently trying to send it right now. I'm just trying to copy it and try to send it across right now. Okay. Yes, I've sent it right now. So you can go to evolvehq.co to learn more about our training. So this is Ayobami, our student. He took our HR analytics and metrics training, and he shared his testimony in regards to his training. So let me just go straight to faculty right now. So this is the body of our faculty. It's quite very rich, and Princess, she's one of the lead person. Yeah, Princess. We have Amanda, and we have Daramola. These guys are HR analysts in their respective field, and they've been doing it for a while right now. Daramola Adams, Amanda Richards, and Princess. Yes, and Princess. I would like to dwell more on that, but I would like to share the training. Okay, I would like to share the training tab. So I believe we can see the training tab right now. So this is our course page for our HR analytics and metrics training. The HR analytics and metrics training is starting on the 27th of this month, and the training is designed for HR professionals like you looking to incorporate data and analytics into performance management and recruitment, retention, performance engagement in order to drive business and organizational growth. That's the goal. In order to drive business and organizational growth, and not just you won't just be learning about HR analytics and metrics. You will be getting your hands dirty because the training is strictly hands-on and practical intensive. Strictly hands-on and practical intensive. So at the end of the training, you'll be able to develop a lot of dashboard. You'll be able to work on a lot of metrics because you'll be getting your hands dirty, meaning that as the trainer is teaching you, you would also be implementing it on the goal. And some of the tools you'll be using because of the training is Excel, Power BI, SQL, and a couple of other things in the course of the training. 3 months training are strictly Saturdays and Sundays, strictly online. Apparently, we're offering you a discount. It's 85K monthly trading, or you do a one-time payment and you pay. Right now, we are saying, okay, one-time payment you pay 220K instead of 240K, and our monthly payment right now would be 80,000 naira instead of 85,000 naira. For people in Nigeria, people in Kenya will be paying 7,500 Kenya shillings, and one-time payments you'll be paying 21,954 Kenya shillings. So payments can be done in once, and payments can be done monthly. So let's go through the curriculum. So this is the breakdown of the curriculum, very detailed, hands-on and practical, intensive. And something unique about our training is that it offers you task-based internship scheme. Yes, it offers you task-based internship scheme. You will get your hands dirty, and at the end of the training, you'll be giving you capstone projects to work on. You'll be sharing your screen, just as I'm sharing my screen. Would have a trainer on the call to criticize constructive criticism, and for them to give you constructive criticism in regards to what you've done and advise you and say this is how to do it better. And at the end of the training, you get to work on a capstone, an internship scheme where we have collated over 6 capstone projects that you'll be working on during this period. And this is to make you more effective and more efficient working as an HR professional. And something unique about the training is that we also say while you're learning, also implement. you're learning, start collecting your organization data, start sorting, start cleaning on the go. Start sorting, start cleaning on the go. You'll be working on over like close to 5 capstone projects in the course of the training. So it's very detailed, hands-on, practical, intensive. And there's also a class that caters for generative artificial intelligence for analytics. And we have the metrics, the core metrics that we'll be talking about, the collaboration, reporting automation, and a couple of other things in the course of the training. And these are the faculty years. Yeah. So we've been on the call for more than an hour now. This is 1 hour 20 minutes, so we'll be running up in the next 10 minutes. But before we do, we would like to entertain any question. Like I rightly said, I've dropped a message in the message section. Please check the message. You can join the class group. For you to have access to this recording, you need to fill a form. And the link to the form is there. If you don't fill the form, there's no way I will get your email address, and there is no way I will send the recordings of today's section to you. So check the in-chat section, fill the form so that you can have access to today's recordings. I will always send the recordings to people that I have their email address, that have signed up and fill the form. So please sign up, fill the form so that you can have access to today's masterclass recording. So do you have any question for me? Do you have any question for me? So the training starts on the 27th of this month. Do you have any question for me, please, before we call it a wrap? Do you have any question for me? Or maybe you have any question for Princess? Okay. Okay, I think there is no question, right? Yes, there is no question. So Princess, what's your parting word, please? Give us your parting word and let's call it a day, please. What's that word you believe in us with?
Okay. Please, can we all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Alfred. I think just what comes to mind right now is the fact that people analytics, HR analytics is not just about HR. It's about the business, and what that means is that, anywhere you find yourself in whatever capacity, whatever business it is, you are armed with that skill that puts you apart and makes you a strategic partner of the organization. So it's beyond HR. It's about the business and the company. So I think that's just what I'd like to add. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you very, very much for staying to this moment. This is like 1 hour, 22 minutes. Go on. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend and see you in class. Bye. Thank you, Princess. Thank you. So please sign up now.